Hello everyone, welcome to Metacritic. This is Matthew May. Before I start this review, please subscribe to this channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss a review. In this episode of the Metacritic, I'll be reviewing and analyzing Marvel Studios' Echo Season 1 that is currently on Disney Plus and Hulu. This is a Disney Plus original, and what is amazing is that this series has a mature rating and is done by Disney Plus, not Hulu. Usually series like Dope Stick and Only Murders in the Building are done by Hulu. They are the mature series that is done, and do not forget that Hulu is owned by Disney. If fans of Marvel believe that the Marvel Cinematic Universe needed a fresh series or movie, this series does that in so many ways. This series is the answer that Marvel needed for so many reasons. It has a diverse character that is deaf, an amputee, and has an indigenous nature, who first appeared on the Hawkeye series that I reviewed for this channel. The actress Alika Cox is deaf and amputee and is of indigenous nature, like her character in this show. She plays herself. She finds out that by Clint Barton, who was Ronan the Assassin, that he was hired by Kingpin to kill her father, and that Kingpin wanted her father dead. Maya Lopez realizes Kingpin is not who she thought he was. He manipulated her to be his weapon and used her for his dirty work. This is what this review will set out to prove. The character is of Native American origin. She is part of the Chippewa Nation that is in Tama, Oklahoma. It is good that Marvel has this series set in a small town like Tama, Oklahoma. Most of the characters like Peter Parker, Matt Murdock, Jessica Jones, Kate Bishop, Danny Rand, Bucky Barnes, or Steve Rogers from New York City. This is a change that Maya Lopez, whose Echo is from this small town of Tama, Oklahoma. This needs to be done. It's true that Sam Wilson's from Louisiana and not from New York City, and Peter Cole's from Missouri. The people that are involved in this series collaborated with the Chippewa Nation. This is good because they did everything they could to make this look authentic. This is important because if you do your homework and you know everything you can about that culture, it only makes the story richer and gives that realistic feel that you were trying to tell. It's impressive that Marvel did this. The other series that did this is Lawnmower, 1923, and Joe Pickett that had just Native Americans in their stories. Marvel took it to another level, but it does not take away what those series did to the actors were in the Lawnmower series. Their names will be revealed later in this review. Emotional, spiritual, and mental pain are the main theme in this series. There are three characters in this series that the viewer can point to in this series. They are Maya Lopez, Chula, and Muslim Fest. They are all connected to each other. The connection will be explained in this review. I also use my Amo accent that I suffered in 2005 as an example of understanding this pain that these three characters are going through in this story of the season they're portraying in Echo. I'll give you my rating in this review. I hope this episode inspired you to read, watch, and learn. I want to say thank you to those who signed up for Patreon. It's important to have those sign up for Patreon. It is a wonderful way to support the channel. But you, as the patron, take an active role in this channel. I have a new challenge for you. 50 more people sign up for Patreon at $10 or higher. I'll hire a video editor to help with my videos. This will help improve the content on the channel, and this means you will help me in this endeavor. If 50 more people sign up at $10 or higher, I'll make $500 or higher a month for this channel. This will be a great benefit, and it will help me in doing the things like hiring a video editor. Even if you are a patron, if you decide to sign up at $10 or higher, you will get the benefit once I reach 50 more people to sign up at $10 or higher. I'll also give you a shirt as well as hire a video editor once I reach that threshold of 50 more people signing up for Patreon. You want to do this will help you get better content, and you have a say in the content I create. Please consider doing this as soon as possible. Thank you. Now on the review. It's very important for the viewer to watch the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, as this will give you, the viewer, the background that you need to watch this series. This series will start off with Chappa and her people being made of clay. You'll see a woodpecker, and it is called Biscuitnik, and it helped to warn the tribe against enemies. It will carve out warnings in the tree. This is very authentic to the Chippewa Nation culture. They believe that we started as clay and later escaped the cave and became human beings. This is on a website. I will leave a link in the bottom of this video or blog. You can check this out and learn about their culture. You can learn about stickball, which was in the second episode of this series. This is how they play the game, as you can learn about reading and watching a video about stickball. Each episode will lead to the culmination of Maya becoming Echo, and she'll go through her hero journey. She believes that she wants power, but it will come at a price. When you trust a devil like Kingpin, you will get false gold. It usually does not turn out how people think it will. She shocked Kingpin in the last episode of the Hawkeye series. It will show a recap of that in the first episode of the Echo series. When they talk about Chafa, Maya Lopez is with her cousin Bonnie in the tent when Maya Lopez is 7 years old. And Bonnie looks to be about the same age at the same time in 2007. This starts that year in that episode in Tomahawk, Oklahoma. Maya's father, William Lopez, Tallulah, her mother, Scully, her grandfather, and Chula, her grandmother, as they were sitting around the fire telling stories. Chula and Scully later leave, and as they were going home, Chula has a vision that something bad will happen. It later starts to rain. This causes Bonnie and Maya to go back into the house. Maya Lopez asks her mother for hot chocolate. Her mother tells her that they are out. They later go to the store, and this is when her mother and her get hit by oncoming traffic and her mother dies. They get T-boned because of the brake cable being cut. Maya Lopez will lose her leg as a piece of glass gets in her leg. Maya Lopez is not only going through physical pain, but emotional, spiritual, and mental pain. This will cause Chula to be mad at William Lopez, and she blames him for this. She told him that she would never forgive him for Chula dying. This will break Chula and make her closed off to people. William Lopez is played by Zan McLaren, who was in the Lawmire series and played the trial police chief. He was in the Hawkeye series in the first episode of that series. The actor who played Scully is Graham Greene, and was in the Lawmire series, and he played Malachi, who was the villain. Graham Greene was in Moon River, and he acted beside Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen in that movie, who played both Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch in the MCU. This will lead to New York and scenes from the school when Maya was 7 years old will surface. The scene with her father will surface as Maya was asking about dragons. This will be the Hawkeye feel that the viewer experienced in the first episode of the Echo series. Maya will be at the cemetery after her father dies, and it's like when Harry Osborn lost his father at the end of the first Spider-Man, the 2002 version of that character that starred Tobey Maguire. The picture will show Peter leaving the grave site, but is right after Norman Osborn dies. It will lead the viewer to the point where Maya Lopez realizes the truth about Wilson Fisk, and she later shoots him in the eye. It'll be 5 months later, and Maya Lopez will need help from her uncle, Harry Black Crow Lopez. Yes, being named after an animal is not unusual. In the Lawmire series, Henry Stendenberg, who is Walt Lawmire's best friend, is a common name for animals. In 1923, Tiana Rainwater was another name. Being named after animals or other elements of nature is common in the Native American folklore and culture. Maya Lopez used dental floss, and this helped her in stitching up the wound from the gun that she suffered from. This is very similar to Night Nurse in the first season of Luke Cage when she sewed up Misty, who is a detective for the NYPD, with dental floss. Henry tells Maya on the water tower that he will not bring a war to Tama. Maya tells Henry it is time for a claim. Early in the first episode, Maya Lopez, aka Echo, will fight Daredevil, and she does better than Kingpin thought she would. As Kingpin points out to Maya Lopez, no one has ever held their own against him like you did. She and Daredevil were adversaries, but later they become allies against Kingpin. It's true in the Marvel comics, as there is a series called Daredevil and Echo that will help the viewer to understand the dynamics of Daredevil and Echo. I will leave a reference to that series in the description below in the video or the blog post for reading this on my blog. Thank you. Each of these episodes will help in culminating in Maya Lopez becoming Echo. The second episode will deal with Loak, and this is where they will be playing stickball in Alabama in 1200. And this is accurate to the history of the Choctaw Nation was in Alabama before they ended up in Oklahoma. Loak will get frustrated, but she will channel Chafa and she will find the strength to help them win. The game is very authentic. The game is like lacrosse. If you're not watching lacrosse, there are plenty of options to do so. It is played at the collegiate level in both men's and women's lacrosse. Lacrosse was developed by Native Americans according to Wikipedia. It uses a stick, and it, like was shown in this episode with stickball. Lacrosse is played with a stick that has a net in the top portion of it, and you must catch the ball in it, and you toss the ball to the other player to make a pass. You must toss the stick with the ball in it to the goal and get in the net to score a goal. A good movie to watch is Invisible Sisters. This will show lacrosse being played in that movie. When Cleo must take her sister Molly place after Molly is made invisible, Cleo must play lacrosse and find out that she's better than she thought she was. Loak realizes that she must help her try to win this match to keep them from being banned from those lands. Maya Lopez will use that vision of Loak and Chava to help her in getting away from the train. She puts an explosive in the train and later blows up the DX-9 in New York. Henry Black Crow Lopez will encounter Maya Lopez and tell her you are starting a war. Maya Lopez tells him that there is a war. She tells him, I will say when it starts and when it stops. This is not chaos, this is paranoia. As Henry Black Crow Lopez tells her, you sound like Fisk. Maya gains a vision after she gets a text from Bonnie, and she wonders why Maya did not tell her that she was in town. Bonnie will find out from Biscuits that she was in town. The third episode of this series will feature Tuka. She is the daughter of a light horseman who are part of a tribal place. She can be a great shot, and she was very accurate when she threw objects and could hit them. The beginning of this episode reminds the viewer of a silent film, as there's only music and no dialogue. There are only texts that tell the story they tell in this flashback. Tukla will tell her father that she wants to be life horseman. Her father will tell her that women are life givers and men are life takers. She tells her father that what good is it to give life if I cannot protect it? That makes sense. Is a woman more than just giving birth to children? Of course she is more than that. She's a person and can do more than just give birth to children. Maya Lopez will pull from Tukla. She later must get out of a situation where she can die, but is saved by a phone call. The fight scenes were awesome and show how good a fighter Maya is. Yes, it can be done. There are people who do flips and crazy stuff. My martial arts training says yes, this can be done. The fourth episode of this series will deal with Maya's grandmother, Chula, giving birth to Maya's mother, Tulua, who is considered a healer. Chula was explaining to Maya that the ancestors will communicate with you when they are needed most. Maya always believes that her grandmother, Chula, did not want her around because of what happened to Tulua when she died of the result being T-boned. This broke Chula's heart. As Maya tells Chula, you chose yourself. Maya needed her grandmother, and her grandmother, Chula, chose herself after Tulua was killed. Wayne Lopez later goes to New York and later gets killed by Roy the assassin, who was used by Kingpin to kill Maya's father. Kingpin will offer Maya Lopez everything. He promises her empire. Henry Black Crowes Lopez tells Maya Lopez that Kingpin is the reason I am 45 and alone. He tells you cannot trust him. It is no different than when Satan offers Jesus Christ everything. But Jesus Christ sees the lies of Satan and does not accept his term. Maya Lopez will reject Kingpin, and Kingpin is mad. Kingpin showed Maya Lopez the hammer, which is a reference to the first season of Daredevil when he killed his father with it. His father did beat his mother, and he killed him to stop him. Kingpin thought he was getting free of the pain inflicted by his father. Instead, the pain turned Kingpin into a monster. The fifth episode will be called Maya, and this episode will culminate her to becoming Echo. Culmination is the meaning when the story gets to the climax. Maya Lopez realizes that she must go back to Tama, Oklahoma. She will later get to her childhood home, and she finds her mother standing there. Her mother knows that she has been hurting, and her mother, Tallulah, tells Maya that it is time for your pain to go away. Maya Lopez tells her mother, Tallulah, that she can't. She does not know how to get my pain to go away. Her mother tells her that she will help her. She tells her, your ancestors will help. Remember your gifts of love, sacrifice, strategy, and courage. It was made into this suit, which was designed by her grandmother, Chula. The battle between Kingpin and Maya Lopez will be epic. It will have the audience hear from her perspective, and it will help give that feel if the viewer were deaf. This is good. Maya Lopez will touch Kingpin and force him to go back to the pain of when he was a child. Maya Lopez tells him to let go of his anger, but he does not want to. Pain has become his life, and uses the pain as an excuse to be the monster that he's become. How does this fight end? Drop your answer in the comment section below. Pablo is awesome. It was cool to see in this series. Henry Black Lopez will come up big as he will shoot Sand to keep him from hurting innocent people, as well as Biscuits. Biscuits helped Maya in the second episode during the train attack as Maya was planting that explosive on the train. Biscuits will use his monster truck to crush the vans to be sure they were not going to cause any trouble to Pablo. Does Maya reconcile with her family? Drop your answer in the comment section below. Thank you. I'll give you my rating. I give Marvel Studios Echo Season 1 a Disney Plus original a 10 out of 10. It was fun, and it was very well done. It's important to show that problems like what was shown in this small town happen, and you do not have to be a big city for that to happen. The series does an excellent job of explaining how emotional, spiritual, and mental pain can affect people. Each person in this world has some difficulties in his or her life. I can relate to Maya in this series since I was T-boned like her, and something like what happened to her can stay with you for a long time. She believes it was her fault that her mother was killed. Kingpin uses the pain of her father's murder to become his weapon. As Clean Barton tells Maya, when you are filled with rage, you can be used. He tells her, your boss wanted your father dead. King believes that when he killed his father with the hammer, he was free. That is the irony. He was not, an illusion at best. He finds out that it is still there, and when Maya Lopez caused him to face it, he wanted to run from it. He is a coward. When it comes to that, it's hard to face one's pain, but it takes courage. Hope that a person has gotten better, but I'm not sure. I take it each day at a time. Life will never be easy, but if you realize, as Maya's mother was telling Maya, you are not alone. This means we are not alone. We have friends and family that love us. It's never good when we try to do things ourselves, especially handling things like bad events that happen to us. Marvel did a great job of doing their homework and getting collaboration for the Chippewa Nation. It made this series more believable and is a great way to teach people the history of these wonderful people. Please go to www.macro.com and check out my blog. There will be a bunch of blog posts that you can check out on my website. My website has links to other websites such as Patreon. As was mentioned before, you can on Patreon. Thank you. Please check out my playlist reviews of the Hawkeye series coming up right now. Please check out my review of Secret Invasion Season 1 coming up right now. Thank you. Please like this video if you found it helpful. Please subscribe to my channel. Please hit the notification bell to be notified of any videos at the bottom of this video. Please remember to comment down the road and comment as well. Please share this video. Anyone else my channel. Remember, do not forget to read, watch, and learn. Thank you.